All right, well, hi, happy Sunday. Hope you all have had a wonderful week so far, and hopefully a good upcoming week. It's Friday, actually. I got a late start to filming things this week. I am on the gym. Wow. I'm in the gym on the bike, and I hate riding the bike. I hate just sitting here and pedaling like a dumbass. I can't stand it. I think it's the most mind-numbing nonsense. So I'm always watching a YouTube video or like trying to do something or on the phone when I'm alone, of course. I would never do that when there's people here in the gym. It's empty. I went to last week's YouTube video, the Q&A, and I was going through all the comments, very sweet. I was going through the comments from the previous week's video, and one of the ones that I kept seeing, and I see it on my Instagram all the time, is why did I take a break from social media for 2 years? What did I learn from it? Like, how was my experience with that? And then, coming back to it, what that's like. So I figured I'm going to answer that. Also, every week I talk about my soccer games that I play in a co-ed league. And this week I actually got some video of it because I just talk about it every week, but I never show anything. So I was like, I should maybe try and get a couple little clips of something. So I'll put those on the screen now. So yeah, this is a clip from Wednesday. We play 8v8 and it's a co-ed league, although not really co-ed because we're the only team that ever has a woman on it. And that's me in the pink cleats. So I actually beat 2 people on pace here in score, which I haven't done since high school because I'm just getting older now, but yeah, beat these 2, slot it right corner, and we lost 8-4. So that's lovely. And when I think about it, probably the most asked question I get, both from people on the internet and also people that I know in real life, is always, how'd you start? How'd you get into social media? Like, how'd you grow your following? All that stuff. Once I get out of the gym. All right, we're back from the gym. Got a tub of grapefruit. So the most common question, how did I get my start, all that stuff. Some of you may know, if you're new here, welcome. I started on Tumblr in like 2009, was like my first bout with social media. Arguably MySpace before then, but you get what I'm talking about. Tumblr was the first place where I started to build an audience of people. I grew up taking pictures. I walked around my hometown with a camera in my hand every day. So I grew up in a very pretty place, and I would just snap photos and I started posting them on Tumblr, and my Tumblr was just mostly my photography. And I started to build a following. Like, I remember when I hit like 5,000. Wild. That was insane. That was probably still 2009. I was 14 years old. It was crazy. And one day I went down to the basement and I was playing around with those studio lights, and I took a picture of myself, my face. And I was working around in Lightroom. I was trying to figure out how to edit some photos. And I remember I cut the photo in half right down the middle of my face. I turned it black and white, and I posted that on Tumblr. That was the moment. That was it. That was where everything changed for me. I was sitting next to my mother on the couch, and I posted that black and white photo of half my face on Tumblr. For those of you that literally have never been on Tumblr, their notification language is under notes. So that's like if someone reblogs it to their page or likes it, it counts as a note. I think the most notes I'd ever gotten on a photo at that point was like 500, which was pretty sick. And so I post this photo and I scroll for like 2 or 3 minutes or whatever. I go to refresh and that photo has like 2,000 notes on it. Big deal. It was crazy. And I was sitting there and I was just like staring at the computer. And then I refreshed it again like 2 minutes later, and it was at like 7,000. And I remember specifically messaging a girlfriend of mine, Michaela, and I was like, she was like a Tumblr kid like me. And I was like, what the hell is happening? I remember in the first day, it got to 50,000 notes, and that was it. That was the first like photo of myself that I'd put out there on the internet. I kind of ran with it. I just started going out, doing some photos of both myself and of the surrounding area like I had been doing. They were gathering me a pretty good following. And then so Instagram comes out in 2010, October, I believe. Like a month or 2 after, something like that, I joined because a friend of mine was like, you got to do it. It's just all about photography and photos and whatnot. And I was like, okay. I started promoting on Tumblr and other places like, this is my Instagram account, go follow it. That was it. That was the end of it. I was there at the beginning, at the inception of Instagram, which I'm so happy about, because now I feel so sorry for any kid trying to like make it in social media, because it feels like you're competing with the entire world, you know? Just like so many people posting every day. There's such a saturation of content. I didn't have to fight. I had some of my Tumblr following. At that point, I had like 100 and 150,000 on Tumblr, which was bananas. And they started to migrate over to Instagram. Like, I have certain screenshots from 2010, 2011, where I hit like 10,000 followers on Instagram and 25,000. One of the coolest things that Instagram did, which is like almost impossible to do now, but back then, the Explore page that everybody knows like right now, the Explore page was literally just 9 photos. It was just the 3x3 square like people would see, but it was stagnant. And it would refresh like every 6 or 12 hours. I don't remember what it was. So it was a huge deal to get onto the Explore page, because it was like everybody on the planet was seeing that. Because I remember I'd be up on Instagram at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and you'd get photos that were on the Explore page from like Asia, because they were awake and that was, you know, like their time slot. I still have screenshots to this day of photos of mine that were like on the Explore page that were just there for everybody to see. It was so weird. It was very interesting. Long story short, I graduated high school with about 330,000 followers in 2013. That was how I got my start. I then went to Los Angeles. I lived there for 9 years. I was in the entertainment industry. I met so many influencers, oh my God. Some of which were absolutely lovely, some of which were annoying. It's just the way the world works. I didn't really socialize that much, which is a theme for my life. I went to parties and I met people, but I didn't use people, is what I'm gonna say. Because I was friends with a lot of influencers, and I know a lot of them to this day, but I never went out of my way to go like collaborate and work with them, because it felt very like using each other, and I'd rather have just been like friends with that person instead of feeling like there was more of a business transaction going on. So then why I stopped, I've talked about it before, I'll keep it 10 seconds. It was just burnout. It was just doing this every single day for, 10 years at that point. I was done. I couldn't care. I literally couldn't care at all about social media. And that was it. I just stopped. It was lovely. It was absolutely lovely. So the flip side of that is, what was that like? Going from that much social media to nothing was the greatest thing ever. I think the biggest thing that I realized was, I'd like to say I'm a very, very appreciative person for what I have in this world. Even when I've had nothing, even when I've slept in my car and just been at my lowest points, which is rough. Even in those moments, appreciative person. It could always be worse. It's a big mantra of mine, no rain, no flowers. But even with that mindset, even with that being how I was raised, no social media, when I genuinely put my phone down for a month and didn't check anything at all, I realized how much better I felt in my day-to-day life, genuinely, just because I wasn't consuming so much content that was like, my life should be like that, or I should be more like that person, or I need this, or whatever it is, and this is not a new concept, I'm not saying anything groundbreaking here, but it was just a really wild experience. Social media is just endlessly comparing yourself to those around you, and it's just the most unhealthy thing possible to consume that and have those emotions every single day. So it was really healthy. It gave me a really nice perspective on a lot of things. And I had never felt closer with my friends and the people in my life, which is phenomenal. God, it was so miserable. I need grapefruit, hold on. One of the nicest things that came out of it was people just assume less about you. My entire life, and granted I have a large social media presence, or I did for a long time, whenever I would meet anybody and they knew who I was through social media beforehand, I would always get the exact same comment. And it was, you're a lot nicer in person than you imagine. And I would always say, why do you think that? Do I come across like an asshole? And they're like, no, it's just you see people on social media and you have just this predetermined notion of influencers in general. And I completely get it. It's valid. I'm not going to argue with that at all. After not posting for so long or just being on social media in general, I would meet people and they would just take me at face value. Wild concept. That was really lovely. So you're probably like, Sean, this all sounds phenomenal. Why the hell would you come back to it? I talked about this for half a second in the Q&A video, but it was pretty much a business decision. After taking such a long time away from it, I went back towards social media with a certain mindset of, I can do it in this capacity without burning myself out and without stressing about numbers and if the content's going to do well every day. You can go to my social media right now and you'll see videos that have 1,500 likes or 12,000 likes. And before, that range would kill me. I would like, that's awful. But now I just don't care. Now it's kind of like you get what you get. And if some brands want to work with me and make some extra money, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. But I'm not going to freak out and just every day worry about those things because they don't matter. And the other side, when it comes to specifically like the fashion content that I've been posting for the last couple months, it is a genuinely nice thing to get messages from people that are like, I absolutely love this. I love this piece that you have. I went and bought it. I love it. It made me feel better. Fashion is a phenomenal thing that can genuinely make someone's day better. Dress good, feel good type of saying. And I've had guys where I've said like, where I get messages all the time and they're like, should I go with this suit? Should I go with that? Like I have a wedding coming up, or do you know any places that sell like really nice bathing suits for summer, or whatever it is. I love helping people out in that way because I know what it's like to put on an outfit that you actually feel good about and how it can make your day that much better. So it's a really wonderful thing. I also love like the history and the creative aspect of fashion, which I don't really talk about much on social media, but it's a thing for me. I really enjoy it. I guess to wrap up this whole thing, I would say if you can, take nice breaks from social media, because the world you're perceiving is not the actual world around you. I promise that. I'll give you the best example. Like I said earlier, there was moments in my life where I was sleeping in my car and life was miserable. But no one ever knew that because my social media never showed that. And I remember waking up one day, I was sleeping in my Jeep. I was outside the Beverly Hills Tennis Club or Racket Club. I don't remember what it's called. And I had my sunroof open a little bit. And I basically drove to like the safest part of town that I could think of and parked there for the night. And I woke up and I'm underneath some palm trees and I took a picture of it because I take pictures of everything that I can. And I remember posting it like a day or two later and all these people are like, oh, that's so pretty. Los Angeles looks so lovely. Nobody knows that I took that from sleeping in my car and that was just what I woke up to. It's just about what they perceive. It's just that. So take a break from social media if you can. Remember that it's not actually reality. And try not to compare yourself to everything you see online because it's just going to be chronically painful every single time you open your phone. I know it's a much easier thing said than done. I'm fully empathetic to that. Loving this little pep talk we're having right now. But I think I'm going to end that there. And I don't know if there's anything else I'm going to add into this video. I am going to see a friend play in a band at a bar tomorrow, so maybe I will get some clips of that. If so, you'll see them right now. If not, this is me helping future me out and ending the video here. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday.